Welcome to What's Going On Watts, where we are taught to survive. And just like the phoenix from our own ashes, we rise. What's happening, family? Thanks for tuning in. We all we got, representing Eastside Watts tenfold.
What's up, family? What's happening? I know we already went live today, but got a few more things that I wanted to get off my chest. Today being the day that the Most High God chose to give us our brother, our dear brother, El Hajj Malik Shabazz, more commonly known as Malcolm X. We would put together a nice little flick about little video about our brother, man, who I admired a lot. Man, I wish I would have known more about him earlier in life, but you know how it be, man. You know how it be. But if y'all don't know how it be, we're gonna go over how it be. Some scholars that I'm gonna bring on in here to let them speak. It's so sad, man, that we've lost so many good people, man, so many good brothers that meant a lot to our people. Ain't nobody really cares, no? But that's all good, though, man. It is what it is. The first video we're gonna get off into, it's gonna be a video from an old talk show back in the day. So old that it wasn't on TV no more when I was a kid. I ain't no YG. But without further ado, let's get off into some words from my brother, my dear brother who knew brother mine.
Perhaps there is something that I can give you.
Mm-hmm. Where do you stand in relation to the Negro figures in the media we see who frighten us the most, and maybe some of you the most, the ones who want to burn it down, demolish it, the ones who have totally given up? I assume you haven't totally given up.
Well, I'm still alive. There's still breath in me, and so as long as breath is in me, I will never give up. But if you think that Rap Brown, you're referring to Rap really, and Stokely, are something new.
Peace be up on brother H. Rap Brown as well. Peace be up on my brother Kwame Torre, or Stokely, more commonly known as Stokely Carmichael, my son's namesake. May the Most High be pleased with all these brothers, as well as my brother James Baldwin here. Peace be up on them all.
You know, I refer you back to an old song. No one even knows who wrote it. And it's supposed to be spiritual. It's supposed to be about, Christian church, but it really is a slave revolt song. The man says, if I had my way, little children, great God, if I had my way, I'd tear this building down. It is not new for me. We've always felt that. It is new for you. And if we were white, if we were Irish, if we were Jewish, if we were Poles, if we had, in fact, in your mind, a frame of reference, our heroes would be your heroes too. Nat Turner would be a hero for you instead of a threat. Malcolm X might still be alive. It is that you can face, in some ways, the discontent of white people. When they rise, they are heroes. And everyone is very proud of brave little Israel, a state against which I have nothing. I don't want to be misinterpreted. I'm not an anti-Semite. But, when the Israelis pick up guns, or the Poles, or the Irish, or any white man in the world says, give me liberty or give me death, the entire white world applauds. When a black man says exactly the same thing, word for word, he is judged a criminal and treated like one, and everything possible is done to make an example of this bad nigger so there won't be any more like him.
Is he lying? Where the lies at, ladies and gentlemen? It's been proven throughout history. Exactly what he just said is what was done to a lot of our brothers. Let's continue.
Now, you can do this if you like, you know, until your party is over. But I know, after all, who my heroes are. And George Washington is not one of my heroes, for example. Neither is Booker T. Washington.
White, one black. He said George Washington is not my hero, but neither is Booker T. Washington. Let's continue.
What the American public has always tried to do is to accommodate me into a system which is always meant my death. They want me to become an accomplice to my own murder. That is what you really mean by integration.
That's
Ooh, if y'all not intellectual enough to catch what the brother just said, I suggest you rewind it and listen to it again. But pay close attention to the words coming out of his mouth. Here you heard. Listen, please listen.
impressive. I don't understand it. That
Esau don't understand it.
last sentence.
Stokely Carmichael says, and he's quite right, that integration is a euphemism for white supremacy.
Ooh, immigration is a euphemism for white supremacy. We are the most assimilated people in America. And tell me we not completely under the boot of these devils.
The truth is that we have been integrated here since we got here. You know, that is not what the battle is at all. If Negroes in this country arranged from every color under heaven, from yours to mine, to people even blacker than me, that gives away the history and tells us what happened. Or as an old black woman once put it to me, to sum it up, she said, white people don't hate black people. If they did, we'd all be black. That's something you got to face. I mean, you, the American Republic. We are your brothers, and you're disowned brothers and sons and sisters. And
Esau still don't get it. Esau is Jacob's brother.
Daughters. You got to face that.
There's a sense in which I don't think you answered my question, and we will be back in a moment. Stay with us. Mr. Baldwin, I guess what I meant by not answering my question was this. You get a kind of simple idea of what Stokely Carmichael and H. Rap Brown mean, and it's maybe because we may not read their words in complete form, but we see them for a minute on the news, and they're yelling, get guns, burn, so forth. And all I was asking really was, are you more moderate than that in your present mood? And are they saying too much? Are they over making a point?
Well, the point that they're trying to make cannot be overstated. I'm much older than Rap, and I'm much older than Stokely. And to that extent, I can be called more moderate, I suppose. But on the other hand, the difficulty here is this. I can't, and Martin Luther King said this too in another way, I can't really ask a black boy younger than, let's say, 20 years old, all right? 17 years old, 25 years old. There are two things I can't ask him to do. I can't ask him to allow himself to live on the terms bequeathed him by the American white people of this country. I cannot ask him to allow the forces which rule this country to emasculate him. I cannot do that. I won't do that. I don't, on the other hand, want to, will not either, counsel a generation, to go out into the streets to die. But there is nothing in the evidence offered by the book of the American Republic which allows me really to argue with the cat who says to me, they needed us to pick the cotton, and now they don't need us anymore. And now they don't need us, they're going to kill us all off, just like they did the Indians. And I can't say it's a Christian nation. Your brothers will never do that to you because the record is too long and too bloody. That's all we have done. All your buried corpses now begin to speak. I can't depend on the American moral credit to save some of the people whom I love, because you don't have that moral credit.
He cooking. They say people cook now. These podcasters and these stupid folks you got going on now don't have nearly as strong intellectual conversations as our brothers did back in the day, man. The brothers cooking.
You know, you told yourself, yourselves, and us for all these years nothing but lies. Now, I want you to understand something. I'm not interested in making an accusation. I'm not even talking about the past. I'm talking about the present. This is not an accusation. It is a plea for the life of this country. Because no matter what I say, no matter what Martin said, the despair in the ghetto, the despair throughout the country accumulates with every hour. And people grow up much faster than you think they do. People are uptight about Stokely now because he said black power. No one is concerned about white power, which is now wiping out Southeast Asia.
Now wipe it out Iran, trying to wipe out Iran, trying to wipe out Lebanon, trying to wipe out Gaza. Do y'all see the repeat?
No one's concerned about the white power, which keeps my children in the ghetto, which does not educate my children, except to become inferiors.
Is he lying?
This is power. And when the Republic reacts as it did to the linking of the two words power and black, it's a confession of what the country has done with its power.
Did y'all catch on? If you didn't get it, man, like I said, rewind it, take it back to the beginning. We're going to be right back after this quick message from our, well, I know, we don't have a sponsor, but we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Did you know the U.S. Navy shot down a passenger plane full of families and then covered it up? In July 1988, the USS Vincennes was patrolling the Persian Gulf when Iran Air Flight 655 took off from Bandar Abbas on a routine commercial flight to Dubai. The Airbus A300 carried 290 civilians, including 66 children. At 8:54 a.m.,
66 children.
The Aegis cruiser fired 2 surface-to-air missiles at the passenger jet.
They fired 2 surface-to-air missiles at a passenger jet. Iranian passenger jet. United Snakes of Amnesia Navy did this. Keep listening.
Killing everyone aboard. The Navy claimed they thought it was an attacking F-14 fighter.
They thought that big-ass flying bus was a jet fighter.
Jet. But declassified files reveal a different story. Multiple tracking systems clearly identified the aircraft as civilian.
You dumb son of a bitch!
The flight was in Iranian airspace, climbing normally on a scheduled route. Radar operators knew it was a commercial airliner. What happened next was pure damage control. The Navy falsified radar data to support their story. Crew members gave contradictory testimonies about warnings they claimed to issue. The Pentagon launched an immediate propaganda campaign, blaming Iran for the tragedy.
Now, this was too long ago for brothers to have been in charge in the military. But you never know. They love to use us to do their dirt. You ever heard of a dog named Gloves? It has something to do with what happened to Fred Hampton. Look that up.
Incident was quickly classified to avoid accountability. The most chilling part, the crew received commendations for their service.
They passed out medals. Got other footage on this, just like they did at the Battle of Wounded Knee to the soldiers that used cannon fire on the women and children, Native Americans. They gave them dogs medals for that.
Institutions prioritize reputation over truth. Human lives become acceptable losses in the machinery of power. Like, subscribe, follow, and share Moon Stories to...
So you see, this stuff has been going on a really long time. But they, this poking Iran in the shoulder, shoving Iran. Bet you ain't gonna do nothing. Bet you ain't gonna do nothing. This is what the United Snakes of Amnesia been doing to the Persian people since 1953. Bet you ain't gonna do nothing. Bet you ain't gonna do nothing. In the meantime, He ran under El Hajj. See what it say? Did you know it ran under Malcolm X with the stamp in 1984? This is decades before the United Snakes of Amnesia did. You understand? People is the devil the Bible speak of, dog, on record. That's just the way I see that, dog, on everything. Let's get back to our show.
Have you ever thought that there might be a basis for prejudice against Negroes specifically that is maybe deeper than anything anybody has said yet? I don't mean...
Outside the courtroom, I asked Malcolm X, giving his first television interview, whether the black Muslim prophet is preaching race hatred.
He's not teaching hate, he's teaching history. And since the American white man has used his control over the press and over...
But to teach history is to teach hate, according to these devils, according to the United Snakes of Amnesia. You bring up any other, it's just like the wishbone people. You talk about anything that they fucking do, and all of a sudden you're against them, you hate them. You can say I hate you just because I bring up what the fuck you did. You did it.
Over the textbooks and over all forms of media to make it appear that he has done us a favor by bringing us here and enslaving us, then the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has to rewrite history or retell.
And that's really how these devils used to come off. I mean, when I was a kid, junior high, elementary school, how them devils, them punk ass motherfucking teachers used to always constantly drill on us. You're living in the greatest country in the world. You should be happy. You're living in the greatest country in the world. Does that got anything to do with what the fuck you did to my grandfather, my father, my great-grandfather, my great-grandmother? The fuck out of the hood with that weak shit, man. Just because you claim the country is wonderful, we should be happy to be here. Happy to be here and get abused? Get the fuck out the hood with that weak shit.
Tell history. And since the white man can't dispute this truth, he tries to defend himself by saying that Mr. Muhammad is teaching hate. It's not hate to say that we were kidnapped and brought here. It's truth. It's not hate to say that we were Jim Crow, discriminated and segregated. It's truth. It's not hate to say that the Supreme Court, which is the highest court in this country, came up with a hypocritical desegregation decision 9 years ago, which they haven't enforced yet. That's not hate. That's truth.
What's wrong with the truth? Truth only hurts the devil, as I always say. The master said, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall what? Set you free. See how important the truth is? Only a devil comes from the Latin word diablo, which means liar, would have a problem with the truth, on record.
You're quoted as having said when an airliner crashed with a number of white people on board that you were glad it happened.
The white race in this country collectively are guilty of these crimes that our people are suffering from collectively, and therefore they would suffer some collective disaster, collective grief. And when that plane crashed in France with 130 white people on it, and we learned that 120 of them were from the state of Georgia, the state that my own grandfather's was a slave in, why, to me, it couldn't have been anything but an act of God, a blessing from God, and I frankly and sincerely pray for similar blessings from him to repeat themselves as often as he can spare them.
God willing. Woo! Young Malcolm wasn't no joke, man. It is what it is. Chickens come home to roost. Chickens ain't coming home to roost. They never made them sad. It only made them glad.
But I take it then you support the freedom-loving attempts of the peaceful marchers in Alabama and these places.
You don't get freedom peacefully. Freedom is never...
Uh-oh. Y'all listening?
Safeguarded peacefully. Anyone who is depriving you of freedom isn't deserving of a peaceful approach by the ones who are being deprived of their freedom. And when black people in this country come out from under the mental straitjacket that the Negro clergymen have placed them in, and begin to see that the only way you can get freedom is to get it the same way the white man in this country got it from England, or he says he got it from England. He was willing to pay the price for freedom. When you're willing to pay the price...
Pay real close attention to that. George Washington, that dog, had a 50,000-pound bounty on his head. He was considered a terrorist to England. Had he been caught, had any of them been caught, they would have been hung, drawn, and quartered, just like fucking William Wallace. I better wise up.
For freedom, then you'll get it. But the Negro in this country has never been willing to pay the price for his freedom. all of the price that we've been paying in the past has been freedom for the white man. We fought abroad so that the white man in America could be free today to sick police dogs on us.
In every fucking war we fought, so they could be free today to sick dogs on us, right? Look, so they could be free today to recycle us back into slavery. It's more men in prison and under the jurisdiction of the fucking courts than there were in fucking slavery in 1865. They've successfully reinstituted it through the 13th and 14th Amendment, which wasn't nothing but a goddamn double cross to black people.
Beat our people in the heads with police clubs and to turn water hoses on little women and children and babies simply because they want to walk down the street like decent human beings. Now, the only way you can have peace is to eliminate those injustices, and the American white man is not going to eliminate them. He's going to talk that pretty talk, but he'll still continue to practice those inhuman deeds.
Ooh, he gonna talk that pretty talk like the scriptures say, even though his words is smoother than butter. War is in his heart. Even though his words is smoother than butter, war is in his heart. Never trust thy enemy. As iron is sure to rust, so is his wickedness. These motherfuckers ain't never been nothing but our enemies. The truth is the truth. The truth only hurts the devil.
Now, concerning the poll taken by Newsweek magazine, I think you said that this was the leaders who said that, who went with King and against Mr. Muhammad around 90%. I just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne,
Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, Meg Thee Stallion.
this included Dick Gregory, and this
Motherfucking D.L. Hughley, Steve Harvey.
included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white.
It doesn't exist. Look how Esau looking at him, because he know he's spitting nothing but fire right now.
Leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community, and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear. Being friendly and being a...
Is he lying? Is he lying? Tell me where the lies is at. Say the truth only hurts the devil. Anybody that's offended by anything he's saying is just a devil. Simple as that. Straight up and down. The brother never lied about nothing he said. I admired this brother probably more than any other ancestors, Joe. Because I believe he was truly sincere in his heart, and I believe he truly picked up his cross, denied himself, and followed the Hamashiach. I truly believe that. I can't say that about Martin. I can't say that about Marcus. I can't say that about Denmark Vesey or Toussaint Louverture or Jean-Jacques Dessalines or Gabriel Passa. But this brother right here, what I've studied and understand about him, oh man, yeah man, that's why the government worked with certain organizations to neutralize our brother.
A friend, I think, are two different things. I think there are many whites who act friendly toward Negroes. A fox acts friendly toward the lamb. And usually
Right now he's talking about the Democrats, the fox.
The fox is the one who ends up with the lamb chop on his plate. The wolf doesn't act friendly. And therefore,
Now he's talking about the Republicans.
the wolf has more difficulty in getting the lamb chopped in his plate.
Both are predators of the lamb. Different approaches, both predators. Democrat, Republicans, two cheeks of the same ass, on reckon.
I'd like to point out, though, that...
And I say that because it is usually if you...
Two cheeks of the same ass, they don't do nothing but spit shit, put out shit, produce shit, on reckon.
Study the structure of the Negro community, economically, politically, civically, psychologically, and otherwise. It's controlled by the white liberal, who usually poses as the friend of the Negro, who actually differs from the white conservative in the same way that the fox differs from the wolf. Their appetite is the same. Their motives are the same. It's only their mannerisms and methods that differ.
Why don't you just ask her?
And it sounded like he was talking about the Democrats and Republicans. That's exactly who he was talking about. But you got niggas out here right now that'll argue each other down about Trump and Kamala. Neither one of these motherfuckers give a fuck about black people. Any time we sitting this one out with the Latinos with the whole ICE thing, we supposed to set this whole shit out. All you motherfucking niggas going out there voting for that Elamite dog because she claimed she was a black woman. Man, y'all don't wise up and find out who the hell your peoples is. If you don't look in that mirror and see nothing friendly, you have no friends. Dr. John Henry Clark.
Question.
We were discussing the disciples. What color were they?
Don't think we know that for certain.
But they...
Of course we know that for certain, devil. Your church painted over it changed the original appearance of all the apostles, Christ himself. Y'all know this is true.
They were Hebrews, were they not?
That's right.
As was Jesus. Jesus was also a Hebrew.
Why don't you just ask your question?
What color were the original Hebrews?
I have.
Judah mourneth, and the gates there are languished. They are black unto the ground. Hashem Mashiach Yahushua.
I've told you that we don't know that for certain.
Then you can't believe for certain that Jesus was white.
Just a moment. God is white. Isn't it obvious?
Well, that is obvious, but we don't know if it's obvious that God is white. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that Jesus did not have blonde hair and blue eyes. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the images of Jesus...
Sure the fuck didn't. Blonde hair is considered unclean according to the Levite priests. Unclean, dirty, leprosy. You understand? But that's the pictures they got everywhere.
that are on prison walls in churches throughout the world are not historically correct, because history teaches us that Jesus was born in a region where the people had color. There's proof.
And the people that are living there now have a 95% cancer rate. Explain that.
In the very Bible that you ask us to read in Revelation's 1st chapter, verse 14 and 15, that Jesus had hair like wool and feet the color of brass.
Just what are you saying?
You see how they made it look? That's how you know the wishbone people played a role in this Spike. Because why he didn't say his skin looked like brass burnt in the oven like the scriptures really say. He just said the brass part. No shot, no salt or nothing on my brother Denzel. He played this shit out of mouth. He should have got his Oscar for this shit. Don't get me wrong, he should have got one for Training Day too. But he's supposed to got his first Oscar for this shit right here, for this movie, on me.
I'm not saying anything. I'm proving to you that Jesus was not, and I might quote one of our Indian brothers, he was not a paleface.
Let me quote one of my Native American brothers. You speak with a forked tongue, you goddamn devil. Now, let's get off into what this speech in here in particular, this one is why this is what I believe made them accelerate and hurry up and plot the unaliving of our brother. Listen to this speech, bro.
Malcolm, on your trip abroad, you said you sensed a feeling of great brotherhood, and that conceivably you would be working toward integration in this country now. At least this is what you're reported to have said. Have you any comment on it?
I don't think that I ever mentioned anything about working toward integration. If I recall, I pointed out that while I was at Mecca,
he shut the devil down immediately. I don't think I ever said anything about integration.
making the pilgrimage, I spoke about the brotherhood that existed at all levels and among all people who were there on that Hajj, who had accepted the religion of Islam. And I pointed out that for what it had done, what the religion of Islam had done for those people over there, despite their complexion differences, that it would probably do America well to study the religion of Islam, and perhaps it could drive some of the racism from this.
I believe had they not took our brother's life so early, I believe as he lived on longer and studied more, I believe brother was going to start, I believe he would have came into the understanding that we are Yasha Allah, we are God's chosen, we way more than a Muslim or a fucking Christian. Way more than that. They Johnny come latelys to what the fuck God made us.
This society, as it has driven racism from the Muslim society.
Drive is aiming for this goal?
Well, I can't say that the current integration drive is aiming for that goal, because it hasn't realized the goal in any state. They haven't even got integration right here in New York City. You have worse integration problems in the North than they have in the South. So if it doesn't work if you can't bring about integration in New York City as international, cosmopolitan, up-to-date as it's supposed to be, you will never get integration anywhere else in the country.
Is he lying? Just stop me when he lied. Just put it in the comments when you think he lied.
Malcolm, have your experiences with white-skinned Muslims in Africa and the Middle East made you feel that relations between Negroes and whites who are not Muslims is any more possible?
When I was on the pilgrimage, I had close contact with Muslims whose skin would in America be classified as white, and with Muslims who themselves would be classified as white in America. But these particular Muslims didn't call themselves white. They looked upon themselves as human beings, as part of the human family, and therefore they looked upon all other segments of the human family as part of that same family. Well, now, they had a different look or a different air or a different attitude than that which is reflected in the attitude of the man in America who calls himself white.
Of course they did. This place was founded by the criminals, by the drapes, by the outcasts, by everybody that England didn't want. That's who founded this nation. Same thing with Australia. I'm saying same thing up in Canada. The criminals. Why you think they were so damn wicked over here? Straight up evil. The shit they did here was downright evil.
So I said that if Islam had done that for them, perhaps if the white man in America would study Islam, perhaps it could do the same thing for him.
I think what a lot of people are interested in, Malcolm, is whether this experience has made you feel that your feelings have changed, that the animosity you have expressed in the past toward all whites.
There's one thing that I want to make clear. No matter how much respect, no matter how much recognition whites show toward me, as far as I'm concerned, as long as that same respect and recognition is not shown toward every one of our people in this country, it doesn't exist for me.
That's motherfucking right. It goes for all. I think it's either all of us, it's all or nothing. What the fuck? You couldn't tell Jesse that. Couldn't tell a bunch of these other sellout turncoat ass black folks that. As soon as they was able to feather their bed, the movement wasn't that important no more.
Malcolm, just
are you prepared to go into the United Nations at this point and ask that charges be brought against the United States for its treatment of American Negroes?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, please. I think you're right in my case.
Oh, yes.
The audience will have to be quiet.
Oh, yes. This is what marked him for deletion. What just came out of his mouth just now. Because at that time, don't get me wrong, Ian's always been a puppet to the United Snakes of Amnesia. But at that time, America had a real issue with being embarrassed on the world stage because they was trying to apply their influence in all these other countries, and they was trying to look like they're the friend, like they're coming to help, and now they got 700 bases all over the world. No real support to the nations that they have bases in, just bases there in case they want to attack that country or attack the country next to it. Trust me, the UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, they finding out the hard way. Having them there is a mistake. And all those other countries started to look at it the same way. That's why everybody is kissing up to Russia, kissing up to China. How can we work with you? Y'all not in that position where America can come in and just destroy things like they did in other situations in Africa. Because you had Russian military who died trying to protect certain African leaders. Although you had Cuban soldiers that died trying to protect African leaders. You know what I'm saying? That were unalive. So that just happened in Venezuela. Cuban soldiers died trying to protect Maduro. You understand? Times have changed. You understand?
Yes. As I pointed out when I was during my traveling, that African nations and Asian nations and Latin American nations look very hypocritical when they stand up in the United Nations condemning the racist practices of South Africa and that which is practiced by Portugal and Angola, and saying nothing in the UN about the racist practices that are manifest every day against Negroes in this society. Even in South Africa.
That's because all nations are Confederate against us, that the name of Yasha Allah should never be in remembrance. They all hate us right now. I'm not telling nobody that's listening that's black don't know something y'all don't. I'm not telling y'all nothing that y'all don't know already. Arabs, do they love us? Hell no. East Indians, do they love us? Hell no. Asians, do they love us? Hell no. African Hamites, I ain't talking about our family. I'm talking about the children of Ham. Do they love us? Hell no. Even fucking Hawaiians and Samoans and shit got terms for nigga. Filipinos, we're belucas to them. You understand? Our own family, our own people, our own cousins call us mayate. You understand? Everybody got an issue with black people, and not one fucking group can tell you what the fuck we ever did to them. Not one, as a nation to another nation, what we've done to them. Not one.
Those Africans aren't faced with bayonets and aren't faced with police dogs. And when I was in Beirut, I saw a picture on the front page of a Negro being beaten in Tennessee, on the front page of the paper in Beirut. When I got to Cairo, I saw the same picture of a Negro being beaten in Tennessee. When I got to Lagos, I saw the same picture. So were these African nations, knowing the brutality that is inflicted upon black people in this country, simply because those black people are trying to get what the Supreme Court said they were supposed to have 10 years ago, I would be not a man. If I was in a position to bring it in front of the United Nations and didn't do so, I wouldn't be a man.
Malcolm, do you intend to lead the charge?
And they saw to it that they deleted him before he could do that. Just like they saw to it they deleted Johnny Cochran before he can go before the Supreme Court and argue the case of reparations. They would see these brothers were too perfect to do that, so they were not allowed to. Had they been allowed to, things would be a whole lot different. Things would have been a whole lot different. Check out my brother here.
In June 1960, the Republic
Now you're dealing with the Malcolm of the Congo.
of Congo, modern-day Democratic Republic of the Congo, celebrated its independence from Belgium with King Baudouin of Belgium in attendance. During his address, King Baudouin expressed admiration for King Leopold II, despite the fact
"You dumb son of a bitch!"
that Leopold's rule resulted in the deaths of over 10 million Congolese people.
"You dumb son of a bitch!"
He suggested that the Congolese should not make any changes to what Leopold II had done for the country unless...
Yeah, continue cutting off hands if people don't bring in their rubber quarter. Y'all should keep that up. Yeah. Yeah. The slaughter of the people, the grape of the women, the grape of the land. He said, y'all know y'all shouldn't change anything, King Leopold was a great man. The crazy part, they said 10 million guaranteed. Man, they killed way more than that. This is the west coast of Africa. You're dealing with Ashanti up through there. You're dealing with Igbo. You're dealing with Yoruba. You're dealing with Bantu. You understand? Hassa. These are God's people, man.
Unless they were certain they could do better.
L'indépendance du Congo constitue l'aboutissement de l'œuvre conçue par le génie du roi.
The genius of that devil. The caucasity, dog.
Léopold II, entreprise par lui avec un courage tenace et continuée avec persévérance par la Belgique. Elle marque une heure décisive dans les destinées, non seulement du Congo lui-même, mais je n'hésite pas à l'affirmer, de l'Afrique tout entière.
King Baudouin's remarks were deeply patronizing and insensitive, considering the brutal suffering endured.
What the fuck that devil did, man? And they completely leave him out of history as one of the worst genocidal maniacs in the history of genocide in the history of the world. This devil killed way more so-called African people than Hitler killed so-called Jewish people. They don't even bring him up. It's no big deal what he did, because these were not white folks. These was Negroes that got done like this, so who cares?
By the Congolese people under King Leopold II's regime. However, when Prime Minister Patrice Lumumba took the stage, he made sure to challenge the king's perspective. and prevent him from having the final say.
This is why they call him the Malcolm of Congo, Malcolm X of Africa.
Combattant de l'indépendance, aujourd'hui victorieux, je vous salue au nom du gouvernement congolais. À vous tous, mes amis, qui avez lutté sans relâche à nos côtés, je vous demande de faire de ce 30 juillet 1960 une date illustre que vous garderez ineffaçablement gravée dans vos cœurs, une date dont vous enseignerez avec fierté la signification à vos enfants, pour que ceux-ci, à leur tour, fassent connaître à leurs fils et à leurs petits-fils l'histoire glorieuse de notre lutte pour la liberté. Nous avons connu les ironies, les insultes, les coups que nous devions subir matin, midi et soir, parce que nous étions des nègres. Qui oubliera qu'à un noir, on disait tu, non certes comme à un ami.
And that motherfucker standing next to him, Mobutu, a betrayer. No different than Patrick O'Neill or fucking Messy Jesse, or what's the other motherfucker? Judas. But on some real shit, I often tell brothers, if Christ had a Judas, how are we? He was sinless and still had a motherfucker betray him. Hey, it's something that plays out with our people. That dude standing right next to him ended up being the dude to work with the government, the United Snakes of Amnesia, to take him out.
Mais parce que les vous honorables étaient réservés aux seuls blancs. Nous avons souffert dans notre corps, dans notre esprit de l'oppression colonialiste.
Stayed in power for decades too after he betrayed Lumumba, just like Charles Nkata. He was betrayed by his good friend. Stayed in power for like almost 30 years. Backed by who? The United Snakes of Amnesia. Why do you think Ibrahim Traoré is over there working with Russia? Why do you think Russian soldiers are protecting him? And hey, I know Russian soldiers over there protected other African leaders, and they were unalive doing their job. Think about it is Putin is a whole different fish, yo. I'm not saying trust him, but use him.
King Baudouin was displeased with Lumumba's speech.
Shut up, bitch!
And it marked a turning point that sealed Lumumba's fate. A few months after his ouster, Lumumba was assassinated with the assistance.
Some of the last footage of him alive. They unalived the brother. They hacked his body up. They dissolved him in acid. Wasn't nothing left but his teeth and like part of his skull. And the Belgian secret police kept his teeth in his pocket. And you can look up the video of him taking the man's teeth out of his pocket. It's a whole documentary on it, on how the Congolese people were trying to get that remnant of him returned so that he can have a proper burial. These people, the devil the Bible speak of, I'm reckoning.
Of the United States Central Intelligence Agency, CIA.
Who? The goddamn criminals in action. Don't they stay doing some shit? Just to keep it 400, don't they stay doing some shit? His brother was unalive in front of his babies, man. Fucking with the United Snakes of Amnesia. Unalive in front of his kids. You understand? They sat there. They saw that, bro. You know what? No big deal. Y'all get over it. Y'all get over it. Y'all get over it, you know. That was a long time ago. I gotta get over it. Let's get back to our other brother.
And concentrate on that if you're afraid of the world around you. If you're back on this society, you may die. You talk about...
I want James Baldwin in this video for us, man. Listen to what he's gonna say.
Making it as a writer by yourself, you had to be able then to turn up all that could happen to me there, and it already happened to me here. You talk about making it as a writer by yourself, that nothing in Hong Kong, I might have gone to Timbuktu. One reason, in 1948. I'll tell you this. When I left this country, always concentrate on...
First, listen to a Talo Yehudi. He's be the main motherfuckers talking about how somebody should just cook it, just forget about it. But do you motherfuckers forget the goddamn the so-called Holocaust against y'all? But they the main motherfuckers to tell black people that, oh, you know that this fucking Professor Weiss, whatever Professor Wishbone, what the fuck his name is. Listen to this devil.
On color or religion or this, there are other ways of connecting men.
I'll tell you this. When I left this country in 1948, I left this country for one reason only, one reason. I didn't care where I went. I might have gone to Hong Kong, I might have gone to Timbuktu. I ended up in Paris, on the streets of Paris, with $40 in my pocket on the theory that nothing worse could happen to me there than had already happened to me here. You talk about making it as a writer by yourself. You had to be able then to turn off all the antenna with which you live, because once you turn your back on this society, you may die. You may die. And it's very hard to sit at a typewriter and concentrate on that if you're afraid of the world around you. The years I lived in Paris did one thing for me. They released me from that particular social terror, which was not the paranoia of my own mind, but a real social danger visible in the face of every cop, every boss, everybody. I don't know what most white people in this country feel, but I can only include what they feel from the state of their institutions. I don't know if white Christians hate Negroes or not, but I know that we have a Christian church which is white and a Christian church which is black. I know, as Malcolm X once put it, that the most segregated hour in American life is high noon on Sunday. That says a great deal for me about a Christian nation. It means that I can't afford to trust most white Christians and certainly cannot trust the Christian church. I don't know whether the labor unions and their bosses really hate me. That doesn't matter, but I know I'm not in their unions. I don't know if the real estate lobby is anything against black people, but I know the real estate lobbies keep me in the ghetto. I don't know if the Board of Education hates black people, but I know the textbooks they give my children to read and the schools that we have to go to. Now, this is...
Yeah, God, look into your history and find out who's responsible for producing the textbooks in the United Snakes of Amnesia, especially in our school.
This is the evidence. You want me to make an act of faith, risking myself, my wife, my woman, my sister, my children, on some idealism which you assure me exists in America, which I have never seen.
Just like that. Period. End of fucking story, man. On me, dog. On me. Go back and watch the video again. Make sure you listen to everything that you heard, that you should have heard, that you may now not have heard. Go back and listen to the whole thing all over again, man. Plenty of info there. Like I said, man, peace be up on our brother, man, Brother Malcolm, man. We'll be waiting forever for another. There'll never be another. Words of Bob Marley, how long will they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We have to fulfill the book. I said, I will send many other prophets and teachers and scribes unto you whom you will kill. Whom you will unalive. These are the words of Hamashiach, who was a prophet, not just the Son of God, not just our Savior, but also a prophet himself. He prophesied that our brothers would be getting slain like this, locked up in prison houses. You understand? All of this stuff is in prophecy, man. We play games. We play games like we don't know, man. No, we know. We really do. Like I was saying to home, man, this video was about Brother Malcolm on his birthday, to honor him on his birthday, man. Giving all praises to the Most High God for allowing us to have this brother. May peace be upon him. May the Most High God be pleased with him. And whether it be, it ain't no whether it be here, but man, love him to death, love him to life. We live in the die because we die to live again. 360 degrees, comprehend. Whether it be here in the kingdom, we all gonna see each other again. According to the prophets, there's certain things that's supposed to go down with these people for what they did, man. Read the book of Obadiah, man. Read up on Esau. Read up on Amalek. Learn about BB the Bomber's people. Study, man. Y'all gotta go study, man. Trust me. I came across this information. My mind was blown. Like Christ said, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. I'm freer than I've ever been, man. In the history of my life. Anyway, man, I hope y'all appreciated the video, man. Like, share, and subscribe, man. Get the information out there, man. Make sure our people know what's going on, man, and what's happening, man. We don't have a lot of time left, man. This shit is almost over. This wickedness, like iron is sure to rust. So is his wickedness. Hey, the wickedness is turned all the way back up. They're talking about giving reparations to the fucking January 6ers and shit. And they won't even apologize what the fuck they did to God's chosen. Hey, it is what it is, man. Once again, you're here with your boy Bam Bam Belly on the Wall Street Sun, representing East Side, all because of East Side. Until the next time, man, I love y'all to death, love y'all to life, man. I'll see y'all soon, man. Y'all stay up.
Welcome to What's Going On Watts, where we are taught to survive. And just like the phoenix from our own ashes, we rise. What's happening, family? Thanks for tuning in. We all we got, representing Eastside Watts tenfold.